version of a Shakespearean tragedy and a very, very dull action movie are available for your viewing this week.
Well, on that note, I can't wait to hear the review of The Tragedy of Macbeth and The 355. We've got Pam Powell and Chuck Kaplinski here to tell us about them. I'm hoping maybe very, very dull was like one of the movie's taglines, and that's its shtick, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
It should have been.
Oh,
I see.
Well, let's not start with that one.
All right.
Anyway, let's start with the Macbeth.
Tragedy of Macbeth. Do we need another version of Macbeth? We sure do, when it's as good as this one. This premieres on Apple TV tomorrow night, and it's from Joel Cohen, who is part of the Coen brothers directing crew. He goes solo with this one, with Denzel Washington in the title role, and his wife, Frances McDormand, as Lady Macbeth. Now, I know what you're saying, oh my God, Shakespeare, it's so boring. It's not boring, and you'll especially like this one because they streamline this story. This one's only an hour and 40 minutes. They just get rid of anything that's extraneous, and we really get into Macbeth's tragedy. And there you see the three witches that give him the prophecy that he will be king. And that, of course, sets off a chain reaction in which he and his wife decide that they're going to do everything in their power for that to come about, even if that includes murder. As you saw from that clip there, it is a very stark visual film. It's not black and white, but it appears that way at times. And pay attention to the sets and the lighting here. You'll see that oftentimes that it creates a vision that's very narrow. People are trapped within this movie, especially Macbeth himself, because as we know, what happens to him is that he cannot escape his fate, no matter what he tries to do. Again, don't just say, oh, I don't like Shakespeare, I'm not going to watch this. Give this a shot. At times, it's more of a horror film than a Shakespearean movie because they really key in on the violence and the tragedy and what a human being will do in order to get power and what happens when that happens. I loved this movie.
Couldn't tell from the previews, do they have still the same language that it was written in?
Yes, but as with good performers, you always want to see Shakespeare performed. You don't want to read it as much. When it's performed by knowledgeable performers, you understand it fully, and that's what comes across here as well.
Oh, okay.
Sounds like the 355 might not be quite as amazing.
Well, you know, the 355 is a bypass that goes around Chicago, and I think that's exactly what you should do, is bypass this movie. But if you want to know a little bit more about this movie, it is a spy movie where Jessica Chastain plays the CIA agent. In fact, all of these women, 4 out of the 5, are CIA agents. One of them, Penelope Cruz, plays a therapist. Sounds intriguing, right? It's not at all. This is any and every other spy movie ever done, and they just place women in men's roles. This is... It's not even laughable. I mean, there are some parts that are funny when Jessica Chastain throws a punch, and for those of you who know Curb Your Enthusiasm, she puts on a Susie face. That was worth 2 minutes of my time, and that's about it. This is over-the-top, only fight scenes, and it's ridiculous behavior, ridiculous interactions, and there is really no saving grace or anything that is worth seeing in this movie.
Wow. Okay.
Can you remember anyone more awkward with a gun
than
Jessica Chastain? That in and of itself is... She's never held a gun before.
No.
Yeah. Had they been making fun of spy movies, they might have had something.
Right, but they didn't, or broken the fourth wall and realized how ridiculous the whole situation is. And I've never seen women sit around a bar like this, drinking their beers after they're done. They just don't do that.
You haven't hung out with me.
That's disappointing.
We were just talking about drinking with you guys. I can just imagine.
That really gets going. Okay, so don't see it.
Don't see it.
Does it have anything to do with the 355 in Chicago, or was that just an analogy you made?
I will, though. I learned that. I did learn something. The 355 refers to, apparently, a woman spy that worked for George Washington. And to keep her identity hidden, they gave her this number, 355. You have to sit through 2 hours of this movie to figure that out.
It's no 007.
No, and admittedly, he texted me and said, tell me the end. Just tell me what happens.
If you would like more reviews and witty banter like this from Chuck and Pam, you can check out the Real Talk with Chuck and Pam YouTube channel. And they've got video reviews and all sorts of segments on their website as well. And you can listen to their weekly podcast. There's their Facebook page. We'll connect you with it all at our website, ciliving.tv.